Hello and welcome back to the Language of Kings. So for this episode is a continuation of the previous episode. If you didn't catch that one, be sure to watch it first. So the title of this episode is How to Get Knowledge Fast. So the goal here is to become an information sponge. Now in the previous episode, we talked about how you can organize your books, the books that you acquired or the list of books that you came up with for you to read them quickly and as efficiently as possible. Now, in this episode, just going to talk about a few rules just to help you just be able to make you more effective when it comes to reading, and a couple of rules of thumb that I'm going to be following. So I highly recommend that you try them out and see what works for you. First thing is to set a goal of a number of books you're going to read. By now you should probably have come up with a huge list of books that you want to read or you're interested in. And some of them are the things that you're interested in and probably got distracted and got a few other books from aside that interest, which is okay, which is very much okay. Now, so the first thing is you want to set a goal. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of setting SMART goals, specific, measurable, and whatnot, but the idea here is for you to set a goal, something that is achievable for you. Now, if you've never read even finished a single book in a month or even in 1 week, they don't say you're going to read like 100 books in a year. That is not going to be possible for you because you haven't even developed that culture. And so here's what I suggest. I suggest maybe you try out something a bit small, maybe a book every 2 weeks, and just make sure you read at least a book every 2 weeks, or I don't know, maybe a dozen chapters every 2 weeks, depending on how you want to read. And so you can set that as a goal. Maybe you're going to read about 2 books a month. And then, so in about a year, there's going to be 24 books. And so if you haven't already started reading books, or that should be a suitable goal or a target that is easily achievable for you as long as you keep reminding yourself that you need to do it. And so you should set an achievable goal that you can follow through and that you're able to keep. Second thing, multitask. The goal here isn't to read. You're not going to try and sit down with like a book of Harry Potter and read it from start to finish. You find that it really gets boring really quickly when you're reading about one particular subject over and over today, tomorrow, the next day, and you find your mind kind of shuts down like that. So I highly recommend that among the books that you selected, you could probably try and mix and match some other books that you found interesting here and there, maybe related to your topic of interest or your passion or what you love doing, or maybe other books about personal development, maybe investing, or just something else. Okay, if you're a spiritual person, maybe you can read the Bible or some other books. And so whatever it is, just make sure you mix and match so that you don't have just like one trail of thought or one trail of reading habits whereby just read. If you're just doing marketing, for instance, you don't want to have books just about marketing and you're reading from marketing books from January to December. That's really going to bog your mind down, and you find yourself you're going to quit along the way because it's just going to be too boring consuming the same kind of information over and over again. So you want to kind of mix and match. So probably stick with one book about what you're interested in, another book that maybe is going to help you become a better. So maybe something abstract like self-development, personal development, maybe investing, something else that you're interested in. And that's why I told you at the time to come up with a list of things that you're interested in. But make sure you don't get distracted, but you focus only, that your main focus is only the books that will help you become the person that you want to be. The third thing, now you want to pick books that you're only interested in. So that's why I recommended you going through the blurb or the introduction of most books, and most places that you buy books online will allow you to do this. So that's why I recommended that you actually go through the books and find out if they're interesting or not. You can just skim through the book and find out if something that you're actually interested in or not. That way you at least be able to create a catalog of books that you are interested in that are highly that excite you. Okay, it's like just like eating your favorite food. When you can smell it in the kitchen, it just kind of excites you, but you can't eat the same food every day, and so it gets pretty boring pretty quickly. So it's kind of the same concept here. So I highly recommend that you multitask and find, kind of mix and match the different kind of books that you want to read. Number 3. Okay, number 4 now. Always be sure to take careful notes. Now, you remember the goal here. Maybe the first time around, you can do a quick skimming of the book to kind of get the general idea, the general concept. Something will at least sink in. And then from then on, you can do now a more... So the first approach, you can use a passive approach whereby just reading for the sake of it, just to kind of quickly get an idea what the book is about. And the second approach, you can use an active approach whereby you pick a specific chapter or a topic of interest, and then just focus on that one, and then take careful notes. Study like you're doing an exam or something. Make sure to grasp the concept, but you're not studying it to reproduce it in an exam. We're studying it to understand the concepts and the principles behind it and the main highlights about that particular chapter, about a particular topic. And number 5, decide on a specific time that you're going to be reading the books. Now, however, you might find that for most of you, like myself, I'm having a hard time actually sticking to a specific schedule, a specific routine. But what I found to be more effective for me is not so much as to do a routine, but kind of decide the number of pages, or you're going to make a decision. You're going to read like maybe one chapter a day, or two chapters a day, or three chapters a day, or something like that, or 10 pages a day, or something like that. And then that way you have kind of like the 24 hours to decide when you're going to do it, and you can do it intermittently. That means you can just start in the morning, read a few pages, then you can go in the afternoon, read a couple of pages, then in the night you can read a couple of pages. So decide it intermittently. And the best thing that I found is actually do a skimming in the morning. Just skim through the book, and if it's a new book for you, or through the chapter if it's a new book for you, and then find and focus on the areas that are kind of interest to you, and then from then on you can just dig deeper into them to kind of understand what they mean. And finally, yeah, that's pretty much it. And once you do this, once you decide on these steps, you should be able to be well on your way to reading at least anywhere from a dozen to 100 books a year, depending on how often you read. The last thing is probably consider your reading speed, how quickly you read, and not just reading for the sake of reading, but reading and your comprehension speed. So if it takes a bit time, make sure to factor that in as you decide as you apply the following tips that I've just shared with you. Now you can probably Google and find plenty of other tips that are going to help you acquire knowledge fast. But this is just a quick overview. If you Google, you find that most of these tips are the same, and so I recommend that you try them out, find out what works, find out what doesn't work, and even as you do it, you'll find out what is more suitable to you and what doesn't work for you. So that's it for this episode, a pretty short episode. And in the next video, we're just going to be going on deeper and just kind of show you guys some of my process and some of the things that I'm learning, and that way you guys can be part of the process. So thanks again for listening, and I'll be sure to see you in the next episode. Be sure to leave a like and a share and a comment in the comment section below, and let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any other better tips, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. I'm eager to find out what's on your mind. And if you already started your channel or whatever, be sure to let me know as well in the comment section as well. That way I can be rooting for you. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next episode. Bye.